Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Sunday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Aina Kweo. In the news tonight, the City of Windhoek's latest council meeting that took place on Thursday focused on outstanding human capital matters, all that was dealt with in camera. Councillor Joseph Uyapingane said that a clear decision needs to be taken that sets a solid foundation with adequate staff in critical function areas. Have a look.
Tonight, council meeting focuses on pertinent and outstanding human capital matters, which will be dealt with in camera once the previous minutes are approved. It is imperative that we take clear decision today that set a solid foundation with adequate staff complement in critical functional areas. We cannot no longer continue in a vacuum of unfilled critical vacancies within the ever-growing public demands for service. We must be deliberate in our efforts to balance the ratio of public servants to residents, and this means taking firm decision to appoint the right candidates. It is unfortunate that some staff appointments and recruitment processes preceded our time in office. However, as leaders, we are now at the helm and under scrutiny to take decision, which may at times be unpopular with some. That said, we have a duty vested in us as council to ensure that the organizational capacity to respond to public needs and strategic imperatives is constant and effective. Therefore, we cannot avoid addressing the current staff members and employ all of you to take this matter seriously and exercise due care.
The Oshikoto region recorded an increase in teenage pregnancy with 567 learners who fell pregnant during the 2022 academic year, an increase of 67 from the 500 recorded in 2021 academic year. In his recent State of Region address, Oshikoto Governor Pendaya Ndakolo said during the same period the region also recorded a total of 1,814 school drops out. Yandakolo said there is an urgent need for parents and religious institutions to contribute their share in ensuring that learners avoid dropping out, even in instances where they fall pregnant, as the Education Act allows them to complete their studies. He added that the Education Ministry implemented measures to address the challenges of high teenage pregnancy and school dropout rates. These measures include training life skill teachers for grade 4 to 7, providing psychosocial support, organizing regional career fairs, and offering continuous professional development for teaching personnel. Now, in the light of the above mentioned, Yandakolo said it is certain that the teenage pregnancy and school dropout rate remains high in the region. Now moving over to our next story, the Oneuptwo Annual Trade Fair, slated for the 25th of August to the 2nd of September 2023, aspires to host at least 450 exhibitors. This was announced by the chairperson of the Oneuptwo Trade Fair Society, Rebecca Hidulika. She said, looking back at the past year, hosting the Oneuptwo Annual Trade Fair after a brutal pandemic was not an easy task. Last year's fair attracted 400 local and international exhibitors representing a fair number of the active economic sector in the country, including the informal sector, which is contributing significantly to our gross domestic product, she said. The team was able to devise a new strategic measure to improve their exhibition space, such as infrastructural improvement by renovating some of the infrastructures within the exhibition center, and they have also managed to employ a full-time staff member who shall act as a liaison person between stakeholders and the Oneuptwo annual trade fair. Embracing a sustainable economy, linking smart markets is the theme of the trade fair. Is the theme of this year's trade fair. Thus, this theme, Haidulika said, is derived from the African Continental Free Trade Area, which represents a unique opportunity for African countries to embrace a sustainable economy. Moving over to our next story, South African actress Jessica Nkosi won the Best Dress category yesterday at the 2023 Hollywood Bets Durban, July. Her dress was made by Namibia's top fashion designer Roberto Scholes. In our story of the day, we take a look at International Plastic Free Day being celebrated on the 3rd of July.
To another exciting episode of Oneuptwo.
We bring jou liefst weer en vertel ook vir julle waar die vis heel moontlik kan byt.
In our story of the day, International Plastic Bag Free Day, celebrated on the 3rd of July, is a global initiative that aims to eliminate the use of plastic bags. Yolanda now has more.
International Plastic Bag Free Day, celebrated on the 3rd of July, is a global initiative that aims to eliminate the use of plastic bags. Plastic bags may seem like a grocery shopping convenience, but they are also a huge strain on the environment. It can take up to 500 years for plastic bags to disintegrate, so they make up a large portion of what stays in our landfills and pollutes our waterways. International Plastic Bag Free Day looks for safer alternatives to demonstrate that a world without the use of so much plastic is possible. It is part of the Break Free from Plastic movement, which began in September 2016 and has been joined by nearly 1,500 different organizations. The movement is looking for solutions to the plastic pollution crisis to make the planet safer for humans, the environment, and wildlife. After a rocky start to a week of negotiations in June this year, around 180 countries agreed to develop a first draft by November for what could become the first global treaty to curb plastic pollution by the end of next year. Country delegations, NGOs, and industry representatives gathered in Paris for the second round of talks toward a legally binding pact to halt the explosion of plastic waste that harms the environment from its carbon-intensive production to its end of life in dumps, landfills, shorelines, and oceans. Though the first half of the 5-day negotiation was spent arguing over procedural issues, delegations split into two groups to discuss the range of control measures that can be taken to stop plastic pollution, as well as whether countries should develop national plans or set global targets to tackle the problem. Individuals and businesses are expected to join the International Plastic Bag Free Day by just stop using plastic bags, reduce, reuse, and recycle, and to practice your green thumb. The best way to celebrate is always the easiest to do, so wherever you find yourself on the 3rd of July, from the grocery store to the park, make sure not to use or ask for any plastic bags. Another spectacular way to celebrate is to recycle and upcycle the things around you. And then practice your green thumb. Use your day to give Mother Nature a helping hand. It's the perfect time to finally plant a new tree or some nice flowers. The planet and the wildlife around you Well, thank you.
After the break, we return with economic news. Stay with us.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
The creation of a human industrial park within a national economic zone in Namibia forms part of the agreement worth 26.2 billion yuan, and that is 3.61 billion US dollars, which was signed between China and Africa yesterday. According to the China Daily website, the agreement was signed by governments and business representatives at the third China-Africa Economic and Trade Expo in Changsha, the capital of the Central China's province. The Global Times quoted Namibia's ambassador to China, Elia Kayamo, stating that he was looking forward to the Chinese investment in Namibia, hoping to further expand bilateral trade with the world's second largest economy. We are present at the expo to learn from China's best practices and explore opportunities for Chinese companies to cooperate and invest in Namibia, Kayamo told the Global Times. Now let's have a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades for 23 Namibian dollars 93 cents to the British pound and 20 Namibian dollars 55 cents to the euro. All commodities have increased, with gold increasing with 0.56% and Brent crude with 1.02%, platinum 0.41%. After the break, we take a look at our international news.
The Agenda is a weekly national affairs interview program hosted every Sunday by Namibian Sun editor Toivon Jabela, featuring a panel of high-profile newsmakers, analysts, and experts. The Agenda aims to reach high-end news consumers seeking informed understanding of national issues. This show is broadcasted on NTV, Oneuptwo.com, and the Namibia Media Holdings Facebook platform. The Agenda focuses on interviews where we put the nation in the hot seat. Contact Agenda at synergy.com.na to get your product and service in the hot seat. The Agenda, focused on today's conversation.
In our international news slot, a 6-story building collapsed while under construction in Ivory Coast commercial capital Abidjan on Friday, killing at least 7 of the builders on site. Firefighters at the scene said on Saturday around midday local time the workers had a cracking sound and the building started to crumble around them, said caretaker and builder Jordan Yoro, who was injured by falling debris. In a rush, everyone started to run, he said, and within about 45 seconds, the building collapsed. Rescue efforts were ongoing at the site in Abidjan's upscale Palmarie district on Saturday, with emergency workers searching through a vast pile of shattered concrete and debris. A further 9 people were wounded in a collapse, said Charles Paulo, the head of the fighter unit at the scene. Such incidents are relatively frequent in Ivory Coast and elsewhere in West Africa, particularly in rainy seasons due to poor enforcement of building regulations and the use of often standard construction material. We will be right back after the break with the weather. Stay with us.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Welcome to Active Kids, a daily TV show that sparks creativity, learning, and fun for young minds. With exciting activities and lessons, Active Kids inspires curiosity and a love for learning.
New face to the 15.
The perfect mix of play and education. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune in to Active Kids on NTV every weekday at 10 o'clock and let the adventure begin.
Here are the weather predictions for tomorrow. The northern region will be sunny with a maximum temperature ranging from 22 to 30 degrees and a minimum temperature ranging from 9 degrees to 14 degrees. The coastal region will experience sunny conditions throughout the day with a maximum temperature of 24 to 33 degrees and minimum temperatures of 7 to 19 degrees. After the break, we return with sports. Stay with us.
To another exciting episode of Oneuptwo.
Dit is die weer en vertel ook vir julle waar die vis heel moontlik gaan byt.
The Agenda is a weekly national affairs interview program hosted every Sunday by Namibian Sun editor Toivon Jabela, featuring a panel of high-profile newsmakers, analysts, and experts. The Agenda aims to reach high-end news consumers seeking informed understanding of national issues. This show is broadcasted on NTV, Oneuptwo.com, and the Namibia Media Holdings Facebook platform. The Agenda focuses on interviews where we put the nation in the hot seat. Contact Agenda at synergy.com.na to get your product and service in the hot seat. The Agenda, focused on today's conversation.
In our sports news tonight, the Namibian Rugby Union's First Division and Women's League continued on Saturday in Fish Bay. Dolphin Rugby Club defeated Sparta 2 by 50-3 in an entertaining First League Rugby Division match at the Jana Wilken Stadium. The floodgates opened when Dolphin took a 7-0 lead in the 9th minute of the game and continued applying pressure. Sparta also came out stronger but was unable to break through Dolphin's defense. During the second half, Dolphin launched more well-orchestrated efforts, extending their lead even further until they clinched the win. Dolphins scored 11 tries and converted 8. Dolphins' second 8 tries are converted 5. Now we move over to our next story. Decorated SPL coach Steve Kafela will leave his helm as Mamelodi Sundowns co-coach and become head coach of Swallows FC. According to News 24, Kofela will leave the reigning DStv Premiership title holder after joining Sundowns in 2020 as senior coach to work alongside joint head coaches Magoba Mangiti and Rolani Mokwena. Kofela, who previously worked with Kaizer Chiefs, Bloemfontein Celtic and Maritzburg United, will be formally introduced to the Swallows FC family on Tuesday. After the break, we return with the highlights. We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment. Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
E-Ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraika. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
We thank you very much for watching our show tonight. If you are just joining us or perhaps you missed some of our top stories, here are the highlights. The Oshikoto region recorded an increase in teenage pregnancy with 567 learners who fell pregnant during the 2022 academic year, an increase of 67 from 500 recorded in 2021 academic year. In his recent State of Region address, Oshikoto Governor Pendaya Ndakolo said during the same period, the region also recorded a total of 1,814 school dropouts. The creation of Human Industrial Park within a national economic zone in Namibia forms part of the agreements worth 26.2 billion, which were agreed between China and Africa yesterday. The Namibia Rugby Union's First Division and Women's League continued on Saturday in Walvis Bay. Dolphin Rugby Club defeated Sparta 2 by 50-3 in an entertaining First League Rugby Division match at the Jan Wilken Stadium. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's broadcast. Please do make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, which is called Oneuptwo. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285, as well as GoTV channel 94 every weekday, channel 25 rather, every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am Aina Koyo, and this has been Sunset News. Please don't end your day without us. Good night.